Hello, I'm happy to have you here today. Today we have Jo Standing, who is the author of Conquer Trauma Drama, Get Your Life Back. She also has a breakthrough follow-up curriculum that was written in Hawaii and is an upcoming author to the book Trauma Resolution. And I'm so grateful to get to interview you today.
As am I. I really enjoyed talking last time that we did, so thank you for that introduction, Kristen.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day and shifting out of quarantine or living in quarantine, whatever you are doing in your lives is serving you exponentially in ways that we couldn't have even imagined from this pandemic. So,
Yeah. So, are you ready? We have some short questions to get to know you. And the first one is, what wins are you celebrating?
well, I recently started to do a degree program at Goddard University, which is based out of Vermont. And it's a super experiential school, so I'm really excited about being one of the Goddardites, if you will. I got a scholarship, which was very cool. And I recently graduated. So for many, 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 many years, Kristen, I've been dreaming about getting my own yoga space where I can train people in trauma resolution practices as introduced through the practice of yoga and showing up for ourselves in a really trauma cooperative way where we're not really banishing the experiences that happen, but we're actually embracing them and saying this too is a tool for further self-development, if you will. So I just graduated my first beta group, and they're a bunch of military people, actually. And when I say a bunch, just a few scattered around the country. And it was so exciting. And I'm so grateful just to have the fact that even though this has been a really big year for all of us in ways that we didn't plan, and our lives have been turned in some ways upside down, in yoga, being upside down is a good thing. It actually adds to your sense of wellness. So that's a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for asking.
That's so exciting. So, yay, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what's something that you would say is unique about you?
Well, the first thing that really just comes to mind is that I think what I've heard, and I'm a 36, almost 37-year-old woman. So, but I mean, the formative years and how I was raised, just from the get-go, got me to perceive the world in different ways. I was raised by a World War II veteran, and my mom was the breadwinner. So a lot of what I heard always from, and this wasn't too long ago, I mean, this is 20 years ago, and I think it's still really kind of uncommon to have a breadwinning mother. And I think that there's a lot of pluses and minuses that come with that. But however we look at it, I think that really set me up to look at the world as being gender neutral. I'm aware that as a woman, every day I'm aware that I'm perceived in a particular light just because my gender is female. And yet the way that I was raised was largely masculine. So I feel like there's oftentimes a really nice coupling between those extremes of being raised with such masculine energy around me from both parents, and then also having, like, really at the root of who I am is a nurturer. someone who cares a lot and can show up in fierce and sometimes intolerable ways. So yeah, I think that that's kind of the marriage of the extremes, and how that shows up, I think, is an interesting experience for me, at least, and I think for the people who I spend time with.
Mm-hmm. Have you noticed any struggles between getting the masculine and feminine to intermingle together? Has there been?
Well, yeah, like even just showing, like for me, like, you know, I feel sometimes like I need to be more feminine, or I need to be more aggressive and assertive. So I I think it is, I mean, there's always going to be a struggle for anyone whenever we're having projections coming toward us. And then coupled with maybe an uncertain or not a total embracing in the first place of who we are because of being an inherent people pleaser or something. So I think breaking down those walls of seeing, you know, this is who I am, and I have to learn to love unconditionally, and then just allow everything to fall into place as it does, and let people experience as they do.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite things?
Favorite things, my dogs, Pledge and Honor, and Stafford, who came back, and that's good. It's actually a nice fit again, but I was living in the mountains, and these two Great Pyrenees puppies just came up to me, and I was living in a tiny home cabin, which was one of my favorite things in 2018 and 2019, just to live in a cedar cabin in the Tahoe National Forest. That was amazing. And another one of my favorite things is the beach, which got me out here back to where I was born and raised, on the East Coast, where I've spent more years than not. But besides that, just being outdoors, slowing down, leaving my cell phone at home 2 hours out of the day, and walking. But definitely the nighttime walks right now are the most replenishing and reinvigorating for me in my life. Outside of even just 10 minutes on the yoga mat and like listening to my body above my brain that's ever going. But yeah, all the stars are super bright lately. Maybe I just haven't been aware of it enough in the past, but really sitting on the beach and absorbing, looking at the stars and the moon, kind of moon bathing. I think that's definitely by far, if I had to really bottom line this, moon bathing is my new favorite thing.
Amazing. I want to go do that now.
Yes, it's so amazing. I can't really sunbathe anymore. As a melanoma, a survivor, I have to wear a lot of sunblock now. So moonbathing, if you guys haven't done that, definitely, again, it's so restorative in so many ways.
Does that help you get some of the benefits you'd get from the sun without all the
well, what I do, Kristen, is like I stay out of the sun in the hottest hours. So before 10 a.m. and after 5:36, and I just wear sunblock even though it's the weak sun hours, I just wear a lot of sunblock anyway, because my skin loves the sun. It picks it up a lot. But yeah, if that answers your question.
It does. The next question is, if you had a billboard about yourself, what would it say?
Raised by a nation.
That sounds...
People like you. People who just have a heart, just the biggest heart. And they think that family extends beyond the blood relatives. Family, we are really, if we give each other a chance, and it's a difficult task sometimes, we're all, myself included, working on our interpersonal skills. And yet something that yoga's taught me is to really see the potential of people being of kin to us. So Raised by a Nation is the first thing that comes to mind, because that's how I feel. I feel that in my search to be of support to our warriors in uniform, I get to, interview them, but I learn so much from them, and I get raised up by being able to share the things that my teachers have taught me, and professors and thought leaders, and just share how I take that on in my own life, and then just notice how that lifts people up. So Raised by a Nation.
That explanation, yeah, that's a beautiful explanation. I'm like, oh,
Thank
so
you.
to hear that. So, yeah, that's beautiful. So I added a new little question in there that we haven't asked yet. That is, what do you do to honor your inner child and play?
Ooh. So Halloween's not just on October 31st for me these days. So again, I want to mention being a melanoma cancer survivor, because it taught me something, and that is, how could I get into what you're saying, Kristen, speaking to you? How can I get into that internal self that wants to play?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 ways. One, pledge and honor my dogs, the fluffy Great Pyrenees. They love to play. So does Stafford. They love to play, and it's kind of like maybe embarrassing. Most people would be embarrassed about like their dogs breaking out and wrestling in the middle of the street on the leashes. And I just have to say, like, I was actually talking to a neighbor this morning on the dog walk about, they were looking at it, they're like, I don't know how these dogs don't basically obliterate you in so many words. Like, and I was like, well, I really love them. They're so good. I have to be fierce sometimes with them, so they believe me when I tell them no. But I said, you know what? I really love that they play, because in this world, other than drunken play, there's not a lot of play. There's not a lot of wholesome play. I mean, we see it in acro yoga. We see it in children, where acro yoga is where 2 people get together and support each other's weight in ways that are just gravity wise. So you don't actually feel like you're doing really any work at all. So really, anyone can do, acro yoga. But yeah, so play, going back to October 31st, not being the only day for Halloween, as just a survivor, like we all are, we've all had like amazing ups and downs. That's life. I think when it's something that, like, when your doctor says, I can't guarantee that you're going to live 5 years or more, you just go like, maybe I should, at least I did. I was like, maybe I can become more of like, that movie where, and bless his heart, I think it was Robin Williams who played it, with the clown nose.
Oh, Patch Adams, yeah.
What's it called again?
Patch Adams.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I thought, like, I'd been wanting to support our military to reduce the suicide issue. It's really its own pandemic, and it's been going on a lot longer than our current shared universal one. But in the United States, just the United States, it's real bad. And so I thought, but at the same time, I need to lift myself up and get myself through this own hardship that I was going through in 2018 and 2019 around, and just needing to be resilient. And yes, Kristen, just like, okay, maybe I'll teach yoga with like a Metal Mel costume on, like, so I can create like this gothic, like Metal Mel, or maybe like Eve Urkel, Steve Urkel's sister. Maybe I can teach yoga as Eve Urkel. So I want to bring that more back. I haven't done as much of it lately, but I want to I am getting back into it.
Mm-hmm.
But as I told you, I'm going through a move right now. The dogs and I are looking at maybe doing like a tiny home kind of situation again, maybe. That's more allows me to share my yoga, TCY, trauma cooperative yoga teacher training to studios all around. It's a little bit more transient. So anyway, there's so much going on right now, and it was the perfect time to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm so glad we got this. So how can we celebrate you as we're wrapping up this conversation?
This feels like a celebration in and of itself, honestly. The space that you hold as I experience it is so honoring. So I just being able to talk with you guys and celebrate. I mean, you could spend $1 and purchase Conquer Trauma Drama, Get Your Life Back at Amazon and review it, because it does have parts of my life in it, and also mostly it has to do with trauma resiliency, and it's a fun short book, so that could be really cool.
Yeah.
Or just say hi. If you don't have $1, just say hi. Say hi, reach out. Tell me about your journey. Tell me about what you are reaching toward in your life. And that's a great way to celebrate me, is just to say, you know, you inspired me to do this in my life, or I'm going to get back on track by doing XYZ, just like I just shared with you. What am I doing to get back on track and stay on track and keep moving forward through all of this?
Amazing. And well, I have 2 real quick questions. First, you mentioned your birthday is coming up. Do you want to share when your birthday is?
Oh, October 21st.
Oh, it's close. Next Wednesday, right? Wednesday?
Thank you. 10 days before Halloween. That's what I've always told people. 10 days before Halloween.
That's great. And then last question, is there anything we can do to support you?
Everything I just mentioned. Everything I just mentioned.
Perfect.
And also keep showing up for Kristen's talks, because she's got a lot to share and a lot of creative juice that she's working with. So, and again, that presence, Kristen, I really appreciate your genuine presence.
Thank you.
Everyone's lucky to have you in their lives.
I have chills now.
Oh, good. I hear that's a good thing. So I'll let you know how that home search goes, and have a wonderful afternoon.
You too.
Mahalo. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, hun.